Hello, and welcome to our first live stream of this academic year. I'm Duncan, and over there is Craig. Now not over there. Over there is Craig. Now we are having a little bit of technical issues. I'm hoping you can hear me. Can you hear me? Someone can type into the live chat window and say yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Duncan. Hoping that's coming. I don't think Craig can hear me.
I can actually hear you through
Oh,
YouTube now.
oh,
So I can hear you through YouTube.
that's a start. Anyway, I don't know quite what's happening there, but anyway, if you can hear me, there might be a comedy delay between me and Craig then if he's hearing me through YouTube. But okay, we are tonight looking at the roles and functions of education. So kind of nice beginning of year 12 stuff for most people. Obviously not everyone does everything in the same order. So this might be for some of you looking back on last year's work if you're for year 13s among you, or it might be stuff you've just been doing if you're in year 12. And we're going to look at a series of activities relating to roles and functions of education. Okay, I think should we get straight down to it? I've just realised in the technical panic at the start, there's one thing I haven't checked, so I'm just hoping this is going to work beautifully now. Oh well, it's half working. I don't think we might not have the music on. I think we only got one activity with music, so I think we'll be all right. Okay, we have got first activity. And it's the one with a little tune. I'm not sure you're going to hear the tune unless I put my headphones to the microphone. Do apologise about this. We have got a give me four. This is just to get us started. Can you come up with 4 possible functions for education? So the idea is you'll type these into the chat window. If you have come to some of our live streams before, you'll know the drill. And of course, there might be people, I'm sure there will be people who are watching this asynchronously, not live, and you can pause the video for a little bit if you want. Give yourself a little bit more than 30 seconds to come up with 4 possible functions of education. Okay, so the timer's going. People are coming in with answers already, which is brilliant. Here we go.
Yeah, some good responses coming through already. The music is very quiet.
Yeah, I gave us a little bit of music over the microphone, but I decided it was probably safer just to use the clock. Boo! Here we go. We've got some good suggestions coming through. So Sky has said it helps to prepare students for the workplace. Kat said maintains social solidarity and maintains bourgeois hegemony. So good sort of contrasting to them. We've got secondary socialisation, socialising the norms and values of wider society. We've got making students into obedient and submissive workers under capitalism. We've got education used as an ideological state apparatus to make the working class people think their status is fair and unchangeable. Then we've got producing meritocracy, the allocation role, sifting and sorting people into suitable jobs. That was Daisy. Got Jack with social cohesion, prepare for the workplace, role allocation, and Kat again as a bridge between home and society. So loads of really good suggestions there. Obviously, we've just put 4 of them here, but you've come up with lots. So, as you suggested, serves the needs of the economy. That's quite broad, isn't it? There are lots of ways it might serve the needs of the economy, and it might be in a positive way, like some of you are saying about the skills needed and sort of allocating people to their roles, or it might be in a less positive way, the sort of Marxist stuff that was coming out with some of you there as well in terms of capitalism. We've got reproducing class inequality, which a lot of you came up with in various ways. Promoting social cohesion, facilitating meritocratic role allocation, which a few of you did say, but you had lots of other really good possible functions and roles of education there as well. So well done. I'm going to hand over to Craig now. We've taken a few of these, the ones I've come up with there, the four, and some of the ones that you've suggested there, and possibly a couple of different ones, for us to do a little bit more with them. So handing over to Craig. Craig, you're on.
Okay, thank you, Duncan. There is a slight delay, kind of, with what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here. So, yeah, I'm on. I'm on. That's great. So, what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the skill of application, and we're going to apply some of these kind of outcomes that we saw before, and look at how education does this. So we are going to see, as you can see on the connection spinner, we've got 6 concepts around there. Promoting the ideas of meritocracy, preparing students for future roles, reproducing social class inequality, passing on a dominant ideology, promoting social cohesion, and serving the needs of the economy. Now, the reason we've put these up here is that many times you'll get asked the question, evaluate the view that the main purpose of the education system is to, and then it will list one of these different sections that we've got up here. So what we'd like you to do is to identify a way in which the education system does do this. So if it spins round and it hits education promotes ideas of meritocracy, I want you to give me the answer to how it does that. Okay, so if we give it a little spin and let's see what our first one is.
Serves the needs of the economy.
So we've got education serves the needs of the economy. Which of those kind of key functions that we've looked at already serves the needs of the economy? So which of those different functions serves the needs of the economy? What concepts can we use here?
Could potentially mention some sociologists, some concepts, some studies. What could you talk about?
Okay, so I've got some up on the screen. Yeah, if some sociologists. So Sky's come up with hidden curriculum. I'm not sure if this is from the activity before because I've got a slight delay.
I think
Cohesion,
I think
preparing for the
that's
workplace role allocation.
we've got learning to labour by
The formal
Willis.
curriculum from
Yeah,
Amelia. Sift and sort students into low merit jobs from Robert. The correspondence principle. Okay, good. So we're getting some really good responses coming through now.
yep, some good ones there. Shall we see what Craig put?
If we have a look at sort of like what I've put in there, I put in the correspondence principle, reproduces inequality and teaches specialist skills. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of those concepts and we're going to show you how to analyze that concept. Because when it comes to doing an essay, it's one thing to know that teaching specialist skills serves the needs of the economy. It's another thing to know and to explain to an examiner how it does that. So what we've got here is the teaching of specialist skills, and at the bottom there we have serves the needs of the economy. We have a number of stages between that. So if we could reveal the kind of first one, just to give you an idea of what we're looking to do. So the teaching of specialist skills is done through the teaching of the formal curriculum. Okay. So the teaching of the formal curriculum, what might be the next stage that we go to and how it serves the needs of the economy? Some people have already mentioned these things in the chat, which is really good.
A range of ways we might look at this, aren't there? I mean, what kind of
So
things
how does the
could
teaching of
be
the
taught?
formal curriculum end up serving the needs of the economy? Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts? People hovering over their keyboards.
Apologies, there is a big delay here.
Shall we look at the next one, Craig?
So if we look at the screen, what we may suggest is that pupils might be okay. We've seen some answers here. Jack has put ensures future workers are educated on necessary workplace values. That'd be a really good one for something like correspondence principle.
Yeah, I think we've said here the formal curriculum. If we'd talked about the informal curriculum, then the kind
What
of
we've put on
values
the
would have
screen
been
is
more.
that pupils are allocated to subjects based upon their ability. Okay, so how might students being allocated based upon their ability then serve the needs of the economy? So adapts to the. So we've got Anna. Sort of like said, adapts to the moving equilibrium. Robert, as sort of like said, highest achieving students get better paid jobs. That's a really good one. People gain specific qualifications and skilled and high paying work. Sifting and
Sifting and
sorting those with the higher ability get higher paying jobs. Okay, good. You've got the kind of idea of what we're doing here.
Yeah, Amelia's put about merit as well. Yeah, meritocratic type
So these
application.
all serve the needs of the economy. What you have to do when you're analysing, when you're trying to get those AO3 skills in, is move through from this idea of teaching a specialist skills through the different stages to show how it serves the needs of the economy.
Yeah, it's kind of unpacking it, isn't it? So, and that's what we've done there. Let's go back to the.
The
Oh no,
next
let's
thing
go
we
to
need
the
to do is we
evaluation.
need to evaluate those ideas now.
Merseyside, this is Yorkshire. are, you, are you getting me? Okay, here we go.
Okay. Now, on our evalue wheel, we have a number of different ways in which you can evaluate a concept. So what we have is here we have strengths, criticisms, alternative approaches, limitations, or evidence. Lots of students go straight for a criticism of this idea, but it's not always the case. You can evaluate by making a judgment based upon one of those other things. So what we're going to pick here is we're going to spin the wheel and try and pick one of those forms of evaluation. Now, this might be a strength, a criticism, an alternative, a limitation, or a piece of evidence to support that. What we've got here is let's find a strength of this argument, okay? What might be a strength of this argument that education gives you the specialist skills you require for the economy? And here we might think about maybe some educational policies that have been used to fit in with specialist skills. That is true. Yes, examples are really useful for evaluation. Really useful for evaluation because it shows that not only that you're making a judgment, but you can actually back that up with something that happens. Okay, so we've got Vibes coming up with MVQs, Annalise coming up with vocational courses or BTECs, really good example. Get
Ooh.
certificates like GCSEs and A levels. Yeah, that could be as another good one. Mandatory in English, Maths, GCSE, CAT. Well done. That is, that's one way I've gone with that. I've actually gone a little bit further with that in my answer. The formal economy, maths teaching, problem solving from Daisy. Yeah, really good response there.
Yeah, so
Youth
uh,
training schemes from Vibes as well as another good one that you could have used there to support it. As you can see on the screen, so like I've put changes to social policy to focus on skills gaps. For example, Rishi Sunak's recent proposals to extend English and maths to 18 through the advanced standard qualification that may be coming in 2034.
Okay, we're back to the connection spinner.
Okay, so now we've gone through one of these. We're going to try another paragraph and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the connection spinner, then we're going to go through and analyze it, and then we're going to evaluate it as well. So let's spin it again.
Reproduces
So,
social class
how
inequality.
might education reproduce social class inequality? This was a big question that was asked last year. How does education reproduce social class inequality?
What do we think? Let's have a look.
Okay, Sky's coming with a good one. Streaming. It's not necessarily something we would think of with the functions of education, but it certainly does happen, and it's certainly worthy there. Streaming.
Myth of meritocracy from Annalise. Very good. Negative labelling.
Promoting the idea of the myth of meritocracy from Annalise. Amelia said higher classes have more access and better education. That's good. Negative labeling of the working class leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy. It controls people's ideas and values through the ISA from Cat. Jack's come up with teacher labeling, Marxist perspectives, labeling of students, promoting the hidden curriculum from Cat. Yeah, there's lots of really good ideas that have come through there. I've picked one that we could have used for the first one. Let's show the correspondence principle. Myth of meritocracy I've got up there as well. Lots of those ideas were good in there as well. How education reproduces social class inequality. Now we're going to look at how we analyze this. How might the correspondence principle reproduce social class inequality? So we start with the correspondence principle. And then we go all the way down to see how the correspondence principle reinforces social class structure. So we might start, first of all, here by talking about what is the correspondence principle.
That'd be a good way to unpack it. What is it? There's some good things still coming through, by the way, like reproduction theory and teaching particular ideologies, but I think that's answering the previous question. What is the correspondence principle?
I did. Reproduction theory is a good one. I like that one, sort of like the idea of cultural reproduction.
So Vibes have said the belief that schools and the workplace have similar workings. Yeah. Schools and workplace mirror each other from Daisy, yeah, and Sky said the same.
Okay, so Daisy's put up there that schools and workplace mirror each other. Yes, that's a good one. Robert's come up with that as well. Schools mirror the workplace. Annalise, schools hierarchy system mirrors businesses. Okay, we will develop that point a little bit more. Let's see what I've put as the second one. The hidden curriculum prepares pupils for the long shadow of work. And then that would then lead into how does it do this, which is what a lot of people have said already, which is that education mirrors work. What aspect of education mirroring work do we think will then reinforce the social class structure?
I mean, Annalise's links to that, doesn't it? The hierarchy within school. That might be.
And I will say that sort of like Annalise has already mentioned this as well.
Yeah.
This idea. It does, yeah.
Shall we reveal?
There's lots of other good things coming in with the correspondence principle though as well. So like timetabling, reward systems, working class pupils being placed into low streams. I think that's a good one as well, because that talks about how it reinforces a social class structure. So well done, Vibes. Competition between students represents competition between employees for promotions. Another good one, Daisy. The authority of teachers from Gabriel as well. Uniforms, some working class students may not be able to afford new school uniforms. That could be another way in which that's done, leading them to be sanctioned by the school. Rules, competition, and work from Moonwatcher. I've gone with hierarchy.
Yeah, and Anna's explained that point a bit further there about a hierarchy teaching people that there'll always be someone above them, and this creating false class consciousness, which is a really good point. But there's some really good answers there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Well
a
done.
great point. I've gone with the idea of hierarchy and how hierarchy teaches them so that they won't challenge their bosses, and then this reinforces the social class structure. What we're going to do now is we're going to evaluate this idea. And again, we have potential strengths, criticisms, alternatives, limitations, or evidence to back this up. So when we spin the wheel, we'll pick one of those types of evaluation that we may have there. So it's come up with an alternative view. Now, alternative views, these are very careful. You have to be very careful when you do an alternative view because you almost have to make sure this correspondence principle is very much a Marxist idea. You may automatically go to the functionalist idea. You could potentially have juxtaposition there where you place two ideas alongside one another. It's always useful to think about how it might agree or disagree with that point. So let's think of an alternative view that the correspondence principle prepares students for work. What might be an alternative view to that? I should say education prepares people for work, not the correspondence principle.
Yeah.
So we've got Cat coming in with Parsons would argue that actually link his reputation to how education acts as a bridge between households and society. That is a good point.
Vibes saying gender division rather than class division. Yeah, but is school like work?
Gender division rather than class division, that's a good one as well. I've kind of gone a little bit left field with this one. Education reinforces patriarchal views from Miley.
Vibes is there.
I've just seen Vibes has put up my answer as well.
Yeah,
Postmodern with new ways of work. Postmodernists argue the structure of work in contemporary society does not reflect school.
absolutely. Okay. So, thanks very much, Craig. We've got one more activity for
So
you.
hopefully that explains sort of like how we go through that process of applying one response and then coming up with our analysis and then our evaluation.
Okay, thanks, Craig. I'm sorry we've got this like a little delay today. It's I'm sure we'll be back to normal next time. Not quite sure what's caused the problem today. We've got this activity. It's called Categorize. Basically, it covers a lot of the things we've talked about today. I reckon from your brilliant
I'm still
answers.
on 2022 time.
I think based on a lot of your brilliant answers to the last activities, you're going to be really quick at this. But you've got 60 seconds to try and place these terms, concepts, sociologists under either functionalism, Marxism, or feminism. Okay. Feminism's an interesting one because we don't tend to talk about it sort of independently of kind of gender and educational achievement and that sort of thing, in terms of the broad perspectives on education. But you've done some anyway already, and people are coming up with the answer already. So I'll get the clock started. I've got some really dramatic music in my headphones, but I know it's not broadcasting to the rest of you. I'll give you a little burst of it. Hang on. It's exciting, isn't it? Okay, let's see. So we've got functionalism, secondary socialization, and meritocracy from Annalise. Also, Vibes has added Parsons and Davison more to that list. Robert's got some Marxism ones, correspondence principle, Bowles and Gintis. Not so sure about meritocracy though. Have a think about that one. Kat earlier has come up with, I think, the full answer. Lots of people saying 2 for feminism. Yeah, reinforces patriarchy. And we're about to be out of time. Okay, I think lots of people got the right answers there. Roberts, yeah, ideological state apparatus. Yeah, instead of meritocracy, yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look. So, under functionalism, as lots of you got, meritocracy, secondary socialisation, Davis and Moore, who talked about how an unequal system of rewards is necessary in order to get meritocratic role allocation, because people will work harder for the higher paid jobs. And we've got Tolcott Parsons as well, so we've got some key functionalists and some key functionalist ideas. Marxism, we've got the correspondence principle, which we've talked about a lot today, but also the ideological state apparatus. And we've got Bowles and Gintis, who obviously came up with the correspondence principle. And we've got one lonely feminism concept there, the idea that education might reinforce patriarchy, which we haven't really discussed today, but there are lots of things we could say about that. I'm going to go back to the me and Craig on the screen, and I do apologise that we've got this delay. So when I ask for a few final words from Craig in a minute, there might be a gap, but I'm preparing him by waffling a bit. But after saying that, so lots of really good answers there, Craig, wouldn't you say? Calling Merseyside from Yorkshire. Some very good answers there. It's obviously a very long gap. Okay, okay. I think on that note, we shall.
Yeah, there were a lot of really good answers. As you can see me talking, but you can't actually hear me just now. There were some really good answers there.
Yeah, fantastic. So well done. If you have enjoyed this session, despite our few technical hitches, please do click the thumbs up icon, and then your friends and colleagues can find these sessions in the future. We've got loads of these coming up. We'll be doing this same time, same place next week, and I can't quite remember what it is we're going to be covering same time, same place next week, but it's we're just moving through education, so the next bit of education, and we will let you know in plenty of time. So thank you very much. I'm just reading some of the things from early on. There might have been a couple.
Social class and education.
Social class and education. Thank you, Craig. That's great. And thank you. Oh, lots of people saying thank you, which is really nice. And despite normally there's a bit more banter between me and Craig because he hears me as soon as I've spoken, but we haven't got that today. So okay. Really looking forward to seeing you next time for social class and education. And have a good evening. Thanks very much for tuning in. Bye bye.